Success isn't something that happens by chance. It's something you build, step by step, with the right mindset. Today, I'm going to show you how to develop the success mindset that will completely change your life. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're not moving forward or achieving your full potential, this video is for you. I'm going to break it down in a way that's simple, practical, and completely doable. No more waiting for the right moment or hoping for things to change on their own. Your success starts with the way you think, and today we're going to dive deep into how to shift your mindset to set you up for lasting success. You'll learn how to set your mind up for growth, how to stay focused and disciplined when life gets tough, and how to build habits that lead to real progress. But it's not just about theory. This is about taking action, making the changes you need to make, and sticking with it no matter what obstacles come your way. By the end of this video, you'll have clear, actionable insights that will inspire you to take charge of your life and start making the progress you've been waiting for. It's time to stop holding yourself back and start building the mindset that's going to drive you toward everything you want in life. So stick with me, because this isn't just another motivational talk. This is about giving you the tools and the mindset to make things happen, starting today. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Every day you wake up, you're faced with choices. You can move toward comfort, or you can move toward growth. The two never live in the same place. The success mindset begins with a simple truth that most people overlook. Challenges are not here to destroy you, they are here to develop you. Every setback, every obstacle, every hardship is asking you one quiet question: will you rise or will you retreat? That answer, repeated daily, becomes the direction of your life. Success is not something that happens once you feel ready. It happens when you decide to face what you'd rather avoid. Growth does not show up in easy moments. It's born when life puts pressure on you and you choose not to fold. Most people wait for life to get easier. They keep hoping for smoother paths, for perfect conditions, for pain to disappear before they act. But the truth is, life never stops testing you. Waiting for comfort is a mindset that quietly robs people of everything they could become. Real success starts the moment you stop trying to avoid difficulty and start stepping into it with purpose. You don't get stronger by running from your problems. You get stronger by solving them. Every time you face something hard, you either build your confidence or you break it. Avoiding struggle is easy, but it creates regret. Facing struggle is hard, but it builds character. Most people admire success stories but forget that every single one of them is built on the back of invisible moments of discipline, resilience, and grit. If you want to change your life, start by changing the way you see problems. See them as teachers. See them as a gym for your mindset. Because that's exactly what they are. Growth doesn't come from wishing. It comes from doing the hard thing even when it scares you. If your life feels stuck, look at the last hard decision you avoided. Chances are, that was your opportunity to grow. You didn't lose time, you lost momentum. Growth is not just about moving forward, it's about becoming stronger from everything that tries to hold you back. And that only happens when you lean into discomfort instead of running away from it. Most people confuse pain with failure. But pain is not failure. It's feedback. It's a signal that you're in the middle of becoming something more. Pain tests how serious you are. It checks your commitment. It asks, do you really want what you say you want? And your answer is shown through action. Not through what you say, but through what you do when the pressure builds. When you feel like quitting but decide to push forward anyway, you build something inside yourself that no one can take away. Look at the areas of your life where you've grown the most. They weren't built during easy seasons. They were built during the times you were forced to adapt, forced to dig deep, forced to make decisions that scared you. That's when people find themselves. That's when people go from who they are to who they are meant to be. Most people think life is about avoiding problems, but life is about facing them and becoming someone new in the process. The people you admire didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they chose to rise above the hard moments. They didn't shrink when life got heavy. They stepped up. They accepted the weight and let it make them stronger. They understood something simple and powerful. Your future is shaped by how you respond to adversity. Every challenge is a test of your mindset. Do you crumble, or do you adapt? Do you complain, or do you build? Do you stay stuck, or do you take the next step forward? You don't need everything to be perfect to grow. You just need the right attitude toward imperfection. The mindset that says, "This is hard, but I'm capable." The belief that says, "I don't have all the answers, but I'll find them." The strength that says, "I will not give up on myself." This mindset doesn't come from reading or thinking. It comes from action, from showing up, from trying again when things don't work out the first time. It's built moment by moment, decision by decision. One of the most powerful things you can do is reframe the story you tell yourself about challenges. Don't say, "This is too much." Say, "This is my opportunity." Don't say, "I can't handle this." Say, "This will make me stronger." These words matter. They shape your identity. They shape your actions, and eventually, they shape your life. A strong mindset is not something you're born with. It's something you build by choosing strength when weakness feels easier. It's easy to blame circumstances. It's easy to say, "If only things were different," but that thinking never builds a better life. The people who grow are the ones who ask themselves, "What can I control?" They stop waiting. They stop hoping. They start doing. They stop seeing problems as excuses and start seeing them as training grounds. That shift changes everything. Because when you take ownership of your response, you take control of your life. You don't get growth handed to you. You earn it. You earn it by being willing to fail, willing to fall, willing to feel uncertain, and still move forward. That's where real change happens. When you stop needing things to be easy and start showing up even when they're not. You become someone who's hard to break. Someone who doesn't need permission to keep going. Someone who uses challenge as fuel, not as a reason to quit. Think about the next time something hard happens. Pause and ask yourself one powerful question. What is this trying to teach me? That question shifts your focus. It turns pain into purpose. It turns frustration into progress. Most people never grow because they never stop to reflect. They react. They complain. They give up. But when you become the type of person who pauses, reflects, and responds with strength, you become unstoppable. You won't always win. You won't always get it right. But that's not the point. The point is to keep moving, to keep growing, to become the kind of person who keeps showing up no matter what. And the more you do that, the more you build inner strength. The kind that doesn't need praise. The kind that doesn't need motivation. The kind that just keeps going because it knows who it is and what it wants. Start today. Don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for fear to leave. Start with what you have. Start from where you are, and know that everything you need to grow is already inside of you. You just have to choose to use it. There's no shortcut, no magic formula, just the daily decision to rise above your excuses and walk into your challenges with purpose. Growth is not a destination. It's a daily decision. The choice to face what scares you. The choice to stop avoiding what's uncomfortable. The choice to believe in your ability to adapt, evolve, and rise. That choice is yours. And it's the foundation of the success mindset that will change your life. Chapter 2. Cultivate a mindset of relentless self-discipline every day. If you don't control your mind will control you, and that's why self-discipline is the foundation of every life that ever meant something. Most people live on autopilot. They say they want more, but their habits say otherwise. They want to grow, but their actions stay the same. The problem isn't lack of desire. The problem is lack of self-discipline. Because without discipline, goals are just wishes. Dreams become dust, and potential stays locked inside. The truth is, you will never rise above the standards you set for yourself each day, and those standards are built and broken by your level of self-discipline. Discipline is not about feeling motivated. It's not about waiting for the right mood. It's about doing what you said you would do, long after the feeling that made you say it is gone. That's where power lives. In the choices that feel boring, in the moments that test your will, in the uncomfortable hours when no one's watching and no one's cheering, but you show up anyway. That's the battlefield. That's where greatness is born. If you study the people who consistently win, not just once but over time, you'll see one thing in common. They're not the most talented. They're not the luckiest. They're not even the smartest. But they are relentless. Relentless with their time. Relentless with their focus. Relentless with their effort. And it's not because they never feel tired. It's because they've trained their minds to rise above excuses. They've trained their bodies to act without needing permission. That's self-discipline. It's a muscle, and every day you either train it or you weaken it. Self-discipline is not a punishment. It's a gift. It's the one thing that puts you back in control of your life. The world will constantly try to distract you, delay you, and deceive you. The discipline you build is what keeps you anchored in your values. It reminds you who you are and what matters most. Without it, you drift. With it, you build. If you want a better life, you need better patterns. And discipline is the root of every pattern that leads to progress. So how do you build relentless self-discipline? You start by keeping promises to yourself. Small ones, daily ones. Don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being consistent. Wake up when you said you would. Do the task you promised you'd finish. Ignore the comfort your mind begs for. Because every time you choose discomfort over convenience, your discipline grows stronger. And that strength compounds. Not in a day, not in a week, but over time it changes your entire identity. The hardest part is the beginning, because discipline is uncomfortable, and everything in your mind and body will resist it. You'll feel tired. You'll want to negotiate with yourself. You'll tell yourself it can wait, that it's not the right time. That one missed day doesn't matter. And that's the trap. That's how average is created, one soft decision at a time. But when you override that voice, when you push through that friction, something shifts. You start to believe in yourself, not because of what you hope to do, but because of what you just did. Most people are not short on goals. They are short on discipline. They start with excitement but can't handle the monotony. They want results, but they won't repeat the process. What separates high achievers is not their ability to dream big. It's their ability to repeat the same simple actions, day after day, without letting boredom or emotion break their commitment. That's what creates freedom. Not luck, not comfort. Discipline. If your life feels chaotic, check your routines. Discipline creates order. It brings clarity. When you have structure, you have fewer decisions to make, and fewer decisions mean less mental fatigue. That gives you more energy for what actually matters. Discipline doesn't restrict your freedom. It multiplies it. It gives you time back. It gives you strength. It gives you a quiet sense of pride that you carry into every part of your life. And when you develop real discipline, you no longer need to chase motivation. You become your own source of power. You wake up knowing what needs to be done. You act without overthinking. You trust yourself because you've proven you won't fold when it gets hard. That's when life starts to open up. When your habits serve your goals. When your mindset no longer wavers. When you live with intention, not impulse. The world is full of distractions. The moment you decide to focus on something meaningful, you'll be surrounded by reasons to give up. That's the test. That's where you decide if you're going to repeat the cycle of starting and stopping, or if you're finally going to stay committed, no matter how you feel. Feelings come and go. Discipline stays. That's why it's so powerful. It gives you the ability to keep showing up, even when everything around you tells you to stop. Building relentless self-discipline is about training your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits. You stop seeing yourself as someone who waits for permission. You begin to take ownership of your life at a deeper level. You stop hoping, and you start becoming. You stop reacting, and you start creating. And once you taste that sense of control, that sense of inner power, you never want to live without it again. No one will do this for you. No one can. You have to want it more than you want comfort. You have to choose long-term progress over short-term ease. That's the cost. But the reward is everything. A life of discipline is a life of freedom. A life where you no longer apologize to yourself for wasted time. A life where your actions match your ambition. A life where your future is not a maybe, but a must. There will be days you don't feel like it. There will be days you want to sleep in, quit early, or push it to tomorrow. But those are the days that shape you. Those are the days that count. Anyone can show up when they feel inspired. That's easy. What defines you is who you are when no one's watching, when no one's pushing you, when there's no reward other than knowing you kept going. That's the version of you that wins. And it's not just about work or goals. Discipline carries into every area of your life. How you eat, how you speak, how you spend your time. It creates alignment. It eliminates regret. It helps you build a life where you respect yourself deeply, because you know what it took to become who you are. You don't just say things anymore. You do them. You don't just wish for change. You become the change. Start where you are. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear decision. Decide to be the kind of person who shows up. Decide to act even when it's inconvenient. Decide to take one step forward every day, even if it's small. Because progress, even slow, is still progress. And momentum once built is hard to stop. Discipline gives you that edge, that consistency, that trust in yourself that no one can take away. When you face resistance, don't run from it. Learn to use it. Resistance is a signal that you're doing something important, that you're moving beyond your old limits, that you're creating something new. It's uncomfortable, yes, but that discomfort is the fire that forges growth. Avoid it, and you stay the same. Embrace it, and you evolve. Every morning, ask yourself one question: will I let my emotions control my actions, or will I act from commitment? That single decision, repeated day after day, will determine the quality of your entire life. Discipline gives you that power. To act when you're tired. To focus when you're distracted. To keep going when nothing is working. That's how leaders are made. That's how dreams are built. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to respect yourself enough to keep your word. And that's what self-discipline is. It's keeping your word to yourself. Even when no one is clapping. even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard. So stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop making discipline optional. Make it your standard. Make it part of who you are. Because once it becomes part of your identity, everything else changes. You stop chasing success. You start attracting it. Not because it's easy, but because you've become the kind of person who earns it. If you want a better life, build better habits. If you want more strength, face more resistance. If you want more clarity, create more structure. And if you want to be proud of who you are, then do the things that make you proud, especially when it's difficult. That's how you grow. That's how you lead. That's how you build a life you don't want to escape from. The truth is, success is not built on luck. It's built on discipline, on the small invisible choices that no one sees, on the quiet sacrifices that no one claps for, on the inner battles that no one else will ever understand. But you will know. You will feel it. You will carry that confidence in your chest. The kind that says, "I've earned this." The kind that no one can fake. So here's the challenge. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Decide. Decide right now to become someone who lives with relentless discipline. Decide to rise when it's easier to stay still. Decide to act when it's easier to scroll. Decide to keep your word when no one's watching. And day by day, you'll build something powerful. Not just results. Not just success, but a version of yourself that is undeniable. If you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you want to feel proud at the end of the day, live in a way that earns that pride. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of living with power and clarity and purpose. Discipline gives you that proof. So take it seriously. Practice it daily. Build it into your soul. Because the moment you stop treating discipline like an option, you'll start seeing progress that feels impossible to ignore. Not just in one area of life, but in every area. Energy, focus, confidence, results. They all follow the same source. And it starts now. Build your self-discipline. Build your future. Build the life you've always known was possible. One decision at a time. One day at a time. No matter how you feel, do it anyway. Chapter 3. Take full responsibility for your actions and outcomes. No one is coming to save you, and the moment you accept that, your real life begins. It's easy to blame. It's easy to point fingers at your past, your parents, your partner, your circumstances. But here's the raw truth. The longer you keep shifting the blame, the longer you delay your transformation. Life will keep handing you the same lesson until you finally learn to look in the mirror and say, "It's on me." Every result, every failure, every repeated mistake. It's not about fault. It's about ownership. Until you take full responsibility, you stay stuck in the same cycle, waiting for someone else to fix what only you can rebuild. The most powerful shift you can make in your life is this: move from victim to creator. When you take full responsibility for your actions and outcomes, you reclaim your power. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You take the wheel. That doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your responsibility. There's a big difference. Fault looks backward. Responsibility looks forward. You may not have caused the pain, the rejection, the loss, but it is your job to heal from it, grow from it, and build something better because of it. When people say they feel stuck, what they really mean is they're avoiding responsibility. They're waiting for things to get easier, waiting for someone to understand them, waiting for external change before making internal moves. But if you wait to feel ready, you'll be waiting your entire life. Readiness is built in motion. Confidence is earned in action. The moment you choose to stop waiting and start owning is the moment your life begins to evolve. Think about this. How much of your pain comes from avoiding the truth? How many regrets were born, not from mistakes, but from refusing to take accountability for them? The guilt, the anxiety, the resentment, they don't grow because life is hard. They grow because you refuse to say, "This is mine. I created this. I will fix it." That moment of honesty is painful, but it's also the most freeing decision you will ever make. Responsibility is the birthplace of growth. When you admit your part in what's wrong, you also claim the power to change it. That's where you begin to feel alive again. You stop dragging the weight of blame and start lifting the weight of discipline. You stop looking for shortcuts and start building real strength. This is how you rebuild your confidence, by facing the brutal truth, not hiding from it. Every time you avoid responsibility, you reinforce weakness. You reinforce helplessness. But every time you take ownership, even of the mess, you reinforce resilience. You tell yourself, "I may not have it all figured out, but I'm in control now." And control is the seed of peace. When you own your life, you stop being at war with reality. You stop wasting energy defending your mistakes and start using that energy to improve. You have to make a choice: keep blaming or start building. You can't do both. You can stay attached to your excuses, or you can grow beyond them, but not both at the same time. There's no freedom in blame. There's no dignity in avoidance. You will never heal what you keep pretending isn't yours. And you will never change what you keep blaming on others. Freedom is on the other side of full accountability. There are people who will live and die in the same mental prison because they never chose to be responsible. They'll complain for decades. They'll find someone to fault for every failure. And in the end, they'll have stories, but no legacy. Don't be one of them. Don't wait until it's too late to take charge. Don't let your life be a long list of what could have been if you had just stepped up. Taking responsibility is not about shame, it's about liberation. It means you no longer allow your past to write your future. It means you no longer hand over the pen to pain, fear, or doubt. You pick it up yourself. You write your story, line by line, with actions that speak louder than any excuse. That's the difference between people who talk and people who build. One escapes. The other commits. Start being honest with yourself. Brutally honest. If your life isn't where you want it to be, take inventory. What habits have you allowed? What standards have you lowered? What truths have you been avoiding? You can lie to others and get away with it. But when you lie to yourself, you pay for it with your peace, and the interest compounds. Until you wake up one day and realize you've been the only thing holding yourself back. Responsibility feels hard at first. It feels heavy, but it's only heavy because you're finally holding the truth. You're finally carrying what's yours to carry. But the beauty is, the moment you lift it, you start to get stronger. Your back straightens, your vision sharpens, your choices become clearer. Because now you know everything depends on you and you are ready for that weight. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming the alarm clock for missing your goals. You stop blaming the weather for your inconsistency. You stop blaming people for your unhappiness. You become your own solution, and the more you do that, the more unstoppable you become. You become the kind of person who creates results, not just intentions. Someone who doesn't beg life to be easier because they are becoming stronger. No one has ever changed their life by complaining. No one has ever achieved anything by waiting for someone else to do the hard work. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common: they took full responsibility for their situation and did something about it. Even when it hurt. Even when it was unfair. Even when they didn't feel like it. They moved forward anyway. You will have setbacks. You will make mistakes. That's life. That's growth. But don't waste them by pretending they weren't your fault. Own them. Learn from them. Let them shape your discipline. Let them teach you how to improve. Because when you take responsibility, failure becomes your greatest teacher, not your greatest fear. Every choice you make sends a message to your future. Every excuse is a step backward. Every act of ownership is a step forward. So what direction are you moving in? What are you telling your future self right now? Are you building a life you'll be proud of? Or are you just surviving on borrowed time, hoping things will change without you changing? This is your wake-up call. The clock is ticking. The longer you wait to take responsibility, the more you lose. You lose time. You lose progress. You lose trust in yourself. But the moment you stop blaming, everything starts to shift. You see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You find discipline where you once found distractions. You tap into strength you never knew existed, because you finally stopped avoiding the very thing that could save you responsibility. Your life is the result of your choices. The quality of your future depends on the level of ownership you bring today. You can't rise while carrying the dead weight of blame. You can't win while waiting for the world to fix itself. It won't. You have to lead. You have to initiate. You have to rise up and say, "This is my life. I will not waste it. I will not make excuses. I will take control and create something meaningful." And here's the beautiful part. When you take full responsibility, you stop needing approval. You stop seeking validation, because now your self-worth isn't dependent on how others see you. It's grounded in how you see yourself. You know you're doing the work. You know you're becoming stronger. You know you're building something real. That internal respect becomes your anchor. And with that, no one can shake you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be accountable. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stop hiding. Stop running. Stop pretending. Start owning. Start acting. Start building. That's how you become powerful. Not by controlling everything, but by taking full responsibility for what you can control, your decisions, your energy, your direction. The moment you take that first step, you'll feel it. A shift. A pull. A spark. Like something inside you has been waiting for this moment all along. The moment you said, "I'm done blaming. I'm done hiding. I'm ready to lead my life." That's when the real journey begins. That's when your days start to carry meaning. That's when your nights are filled with peace, not because life is easy, but because you know you're doing the work. And if you fall again, and you will, don't run, don't spiral, don't make excuses. Just take a breath and say, "I own this, and I'll fix it." That mindset will take you further than talent ever could. It will build a life grounded in strength, in clarity, in purpose, not one built on comfort and blame. So here's what I want you to do from this day forward. Take full responsibility for every part of your life. The good, the bad, the messy, the uncertain. Because only then can you begin to rebuild with truth. Only then can you rise with integrity. And only then can you become someone truly unstoppable. Your future depends on it. Your peace depends on it. Your legacy depends on it. This is your life. Own it. Build it. And never again wait for anyone else to hand you what you have the power to create. Chapter 4. Develop unwavering belief in your abilities and potential. You were born with greatness inside you, but somewhere along the way, you were convinced to doubt it. There was a time, long before the world tried to shrink you, when you believed anything was possible. You didn't overthink it. You didn't second-guess yourself. You simply believed. But life chipped away at that certainty. People told you to be realistic. They laughed when you dreamed big. They measured you by your results, not your potential. And slowly, that unstoppable fire you once had got buried under the weight of fear, failure, and silence. But deep down, it's still there. That part of you that knows you're meant for more. The part of you that won't be satisfied settling. The part of you that aches to be fully alive, fully free, fully expressed. And here's the truth, no one tells you loud enough. Your entire life will change the day you decide to believe in yourself again, without waiting for proof, without asking for permission, without needing anyone else to agree. Your potential isn't something you discover. It's something you decide to activate. Right now, not someday, not when you have more experience, not after you get more validation, but right now, because belief comes first. Always. The world mirrors what you reflect. If you hesitate, it hesitates. If you show up small, it treats you small. But when you step in with certainty, with full conviction in your voice, your energy, your presence, doors open. Not because they were closed before, but because you were too unsure to push. No one is born confident. Confidence is a skill, and like every skill, it's built. Belief isn't about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing that you are enough, right now, and that you have everything within you to grow into the person you want to become. The belief must come before the evidence. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it real. Because anyone can believe once they've already made it. But the ones who win, who truly change their lives, are the ones who choose to believe while they're still becoming. Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent doubting yourself? How many opportunities have you passed on? Not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't believe you were. How many times did you hold back your voice, your vision, your gifts, because you were afraid of being judged or misunderstood or rejected? That fear has already cost you too much. And if you don't face it now, it will keep stealing from your future. You were not designed to live small. You were not built to shrink, to fit someone else's comfort zone. You were not meant to live a life of quiet frustration while hiding your gifts from the world. Your potential is real. Your power is real. But it's your job to claim it. Because the truth is, no one is going to hand it to you. No one is going to walk up and say, "You're ready now." No one is going to give you permission to be great. You have to decide that for yourself. And once you do, your life will never be the same. It starts with how you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. If your inner voice is constantly criticizing, doubting, and second-guessing, don't be surprised if your external world reflects the same. But when you start speaking to yourself like someone you believe in, everything shifts. Your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your actions become bold. You stop settling for crumbs when you know you were made to own the table. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you. Because when you believe deeply in yourself, the world begins to align with that belief. Opportunities find you. People are drawn to you. You start making moves with clarity, with passion, with fire. And even when you stumble, and you will, you no longer see it as proof of inadequacy. You see it as part of the process. You get up faster. You grow stronger. You stay committed. Most people are walking around with a mask on, pretending they're confident while quietly collapsing under the weight of self-doubt. But not you. Not anymore. You're done hiding. You're done playing small. You're done doubting a potential that's been screaming to be unleashed. You are ready to own your power, to own your worth, to step forward even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, because you know this truth: nothing changes until you change. And belief isn't just about mindset, it's about action. Every time you show up despite fear, you reinforce belief. Every time you do the hard thing, you prove to yourself that you can. Every small win, every moment of courage, every time you show up when it's easier to hide. These are the bricks that build unshakable confidence. Not because you're perfect, but because you're persistent. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. The belief will grow as you move. Clarity comes through motion. Strength comes through resistance. Stop waiting for the feeling of belief and start living like someone who believes. That's the difference between wishing and building. One waits for proof. The other becomes the proof. You have something in you that the world needs. A voice, a vision, a strength. But if you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll miss your chance. There is no perfect time. There is only now. And now is when your belief must kick in. Not because everything is guaranteed, but because you're willing to bet on yourself regardless. That is power. That is freedom. That is how you change everything. You weren't born to live a recycled life. You weren't meant to keep repeating the same patterns, the same limitations, the same doubts. That's not growth. That's survival. And survival is not your destiny. You're here to thrive, to lead, to create something bold. But that starts with choosing to believe, choosing to trust that you are enough, that you are capable, that you will find a way, even when there's no clear path. Especially then, no one gets to decide your value but you. Stop waiting for validation. Stop needing confirmation. Stop seeking permission. Just decide that you are worthy. Not someday, not when you've accomplished more, but now, because you are. And if you can hold on to that belief, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when it feels like no one sees you, that belief will carry you through the storms. It will ground you. It will guide you. There is a version of you that already exists in the future. A version that walks with certainty, that lives with clarity, that breathes with confidence. But you don't get there by accident. You get there by choosing to believe in yourself now, by aligning your actions, your habits, your words with the person you are becoming. Not the person the world expects, but the person you know you were always meant to be. You'll be tested. Life will challenge that belief. People will try to shake it. Fear will try to whisper in your ear. But your job is to keep going anyway. To stay grounded in your power. To trust that no matter what happens, you are enough to handle it. To grow from it. To use it. And to rise stronger because of it. Every time you choose belief, you reclaim your life. You take back your power. You become a force the world cannot ignore. Not because you shouted louder, but because you moved with quiet conviction. You walked with purpose. You lived with authenticity. And in that space, there is nothing you cannot do. So here's what I want from you now. Look yourself in the mirror and make a decision. Not a wish, not a maybe, but a decision. That from this day forward you will believe in your abilities. You will trust your potential. You will act in alignment with your future. Not because it's easy, but because you're done living small. You are enough. You are ready. And the life you've always wanted is waiting on the other side of your belief. So step up. Speak with clarity, move with purpose, and never again let doubt dictate your direction. Your greatness begins where your belief begins, and your time is now. Chapter 5. Focus on small daily improvements to achieve long-term success. Every great transformation you've ever dreamed of starts with something small, so small most people ignore it, walk past it, or say that's not enough. But that tiny choice you make today, the one that looks insignificant to the outside world, that's your real power. That's where your future is born. Not in the loud declarations or the massive once-in-a-lifetime moves, but in the quiet, consistent actions you take every single day when no one is watching. That's the truth successful people live by. They don't chase big breakthroughs, they build small wins every single day. Think about it. When you look at someone who seems far ahead, mentally, physically, financially, it's easy to assume they made one massive leap. But you didn't see the hundreds of early mornings, the uncomfortable sacrifices, the hours of discipline when motivation was gone. You didn't see the tiny steps stacked on top of each other until they became a mountain. You didn't see the boring, unglamorous grind. But that's exactly what built their greatness. One decision at a time. That's where most people get it wrong. They want the big results now. They crave instant proof. They give up because the progress isn't dramatic enough. But life doesn't reward urgency, it rewards consistency. Real success is built on compounding effort. Every rep in the gym, every page you read, every time you say no to your excuses. These aren't throwaway moments. These are investments in your future. And each one, though small in the moment, multiplies over time. You want long-term success. Start thinking long-term habits. You want to feel proud of who you are a year from now. Start acting like that person today, even if it's in the smallest ways. Because identity isn't something you wait to discover. It's something you build through repeated action. You don't wake up confident. You earn that confidence by showing up when it would have been easier to hide. You don't just stumble into success. You create it through discipline and patience. You see, every day is a vote. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. And no one workout won't make you fit. One journal entry won't give you clarity. One healthy meal won't transform your life. But taken together, over time, those small decisions become unstoppable momentum. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to stay committed. One better choice at a time. There are people watching this right now who are stuck, not because they lack talent, not because they lack drive, but because they're waiting for a perfect moment. Let me break this to you. There is no perfect moment. There's just now. And the choices you make now either move you closer to the life you want, or deeper into the cycle you're trying to break. Every day you delay is a vote for the life you no longer want to live. Don't underestimate what one small shift can do. You wake up 10 minutes earlier today, that's the start of a better morning routine. You drink water instead of soda, that's the beginning of respecting your body. You speak kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. That's how mental resilience starts. It's all connected. Every action creates a ripple. You don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to be intentional. The greatest athletes, the sharpest minds, the most resilient leaders, what separates them isn't some magic DNA. It's their refusal to quit on the small stuff. It's how they show up when no one's clapping. It's how they stay focused on today's inch, instead of getting overwhelmed by the mile ahead. They treat their mornings like sacred time. They track their progress with brutal honesty. They don't just dream about change, they live it, moment by moment, habit by habit. It's tempting to look at your goals and feel overwhelmed. It's tempting to think, there's so far to go, how could I ever get there? But that voice in your head, the one feeding you doubt, the one convincing you to delay. It doesn't know what you're capable of yet. You don't climb a mountain by staring at the peak. You climb it by focusing on the next step in front of you, and then the next, and then the next. You keep moving forward, no matter how small the step, and eventually, when you look back, you realize you've already changed. You've already become someone new. Let's get real, growth doesn't always feel good. Most days, it feels inconvenient, uncomfortable, and unrewarding. But that's not failure. That's the cost of transformation. Those days when nothing seems to be working. Those are the most important days to keep going. Because while everyone else is giving up, you're building endurance. You're building trust in yourself. You're separating yourself from the average. And that quiet persistence, that daily choice to keep pushing, is what will eventually speak louder than anything else. Your future is being shaped right now, in this moment, by what you choose to focus on, what you choose to tolerate, what you choose to repeat. Are you building momentum or making excuses? Are you reinforcing strength or reinforcing weakness? Because there's no neutral. You're always moving towards something or away from it. And the key to moving in the right direction is clarity. You need to know who you're becoming. You need to see it, feel it, own it, not as a fantasy, but as a mission. Start acting like that future version of you already exists. Make decisions as they would. What would they do first thing in the morning? How would they handle discomfort? How would they respond to setbacks? And then do that. Embody that. Every day, because when your identity aligns with your actions, you stop needing motivation. You become the kind of person who does the work, because it's who you are. I don't care how slow your progress feels right now. I don't care if nobody notices. That doesn't mean it's not working. That doesn't mean it's not worth it. The changes that matter most often happen quietly, beneath the surface, until one day, they explode into results that no one can ignore. But you'll know exactly what it took. You'll remember every morning you showed up tired. Every choice you made that no one saw. Every time you got back up, when it would have been easier to quit. You'll remember. And you'll be proud. Not just of where you ended up, but of who you became along the way. So let's bring this home. Long-term success is not about luck. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's about staying consistent with the right habits. It's about mastering the tiny daily disciplines that others overlook. It's about building self-trust through action. You don't need to overhaul your entire life today. Just start with one shift, one change, one small win, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Because that's how you build a life you're proud of. That's how you separate yourself from the noise. That's how you create results that last. Don't get distracted by speed. Stay committed to direction. Be relentless about your growth and patient with the process. The life you want isn't waiting at the finish line. It's being built in every step you take today. Start small. Stay consistent. Watch everything change. Now go take that first step and don't stop. Chapter 6. Break free from fear and take bold, decisive action. Fear will lie to you your entire life, if you let it. So the real question is, how long are you going to keep believing it? Every time you hesitate, every time you pull back, every time you silence your own voice because of fear, you're feeding the very thing that's keeping you stuck. Fear is not a sign to retreat. It's a signal, a challenge. It's your mind telling you, this is the edge of your comfort zone. And if you ever want to grow, if you ever want to live a life that's truly yours, you've got to stop letting that edge be your limit. Think about the opportunities you've already lost to fear, the chances you didn't take, the risks you avoided, the words you held back, the doors you never opened, not because you weren't ready, not because you weren't capable, but because fear whispered, "What if you fail?" and you listened. That voice, that toxic inner dialogue, has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. And it's time to put an end to it. You see, fear thrives in silence. It thrives in inaction. It gains power when you sit still and wait for certainty. But here's the truth. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when you feel 100% confident and fully prepared. That's not how bold action works. Courage doesn't show up when everything feels safe. It shows up when you move anyway, especially when you're afraid. That's what most people don't realize. Bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more. Your purpose, your future, your truth. Those things must matter more than your fear if you ever want to take your life to the next level. And the people who change the world, they're not fearless, they just act anyway, over and over again. You've got to understand something fundamental about fear. It's a liar with a very convincing voice. It tells you that you're not enough, that you'll be judged, that you'll fall flat on your face, that people will laugh, that you'll be exposed. But when you look closer, none of that is real. Those are just projections, stories, illusions, because when you finally act, when you stop giving fear a seat at your table, you realize how powerless it actually is. The boldest people you admire, the ones making an impact, living with passion, creating change, they didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait to feel fearless. They stepped into the fire. They took the shot, gave the speech, started the business, left the toxic job, cut ties with what no longer served them, not because they weren't afraid, but because they decided to stop letting fear dictate their future. What are you holding back right now because of fear? Be honest. Is it a decision, a dream, a conversation you know you need to have? A step you've avoided taking for way too long? That fear you feel isn't there to protect you. It's there to challenge you. It's standing between you and the person you could become. And the longer you wait, the louder it gets. The more power you give it. You don't overcome fear by thinking your way out of it. You overcome fear by doing. Action is the only antidote. It doesn't matter how small that first step is. What matters is that you take it. Because every bold action chips away at fear's hold. Every time you act in spite of doubt, you're reprogramming your mind to believe in your own strength. And that shift, that internal rewiring, is the start of something massive. Let me tell you this. The people who are bold, decisive, unshakable, they weren't born that way. They were made in the moments where fear tried to stop them, and they pushed forward anyway. That's what forged their character. Not comfort, not certainty, but grit, boldness, decisive action. Every major breakthrough in your life will come from a decision that felt scary at the time. And when you look back, you'll realize that what once terrified you became the turning point that changed everything. Fear tries to block the exact path you need to take. And if you can learn to walk toward it, not away from it, you unlock a level of strength that most people never reach. Do not underestimate what one bold move can do. You say the thing you've been afraid to say, and suddenly you're free. You take the leap you've avoided, and new doors swing open. You stop waiting and start doing, and life begins to respond in ways you never imagined. Boldness has a ripple effect. It sets off a chain reaction that elevates everything in your life. You don't need to know the entire plan. You just need to make the next brave move. You don't need approval. You don't need more time to think about it. You need to act, right now, even if your hands are shaking, even if your heart is racing, Because action is what breaks the grip of fear. Action is what rewrites your identity. Action is what separates the people who live on repeat from those who rise. You already know what you need to do. Deep down you feel it. That pull, that fire, that voice that keeps telling you, it's time. You can keep pretending you don't hear it, but it's not going away. Because that voice is you, the real you. The one who's tired of playing small. The one who's done hiding. The one who's ready to step into the life you were meant to live. Let's talk about failure, because fear loves to use it against you. But here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. Stagnation is. Playing it safe is. Living a watered-down version of your life is. Every failure teaches you something that success can't. Every misstep is a lesson that sharpens your path. You grow from trying. You gain clarity from doing. You evolve by being in motion. So many people are paralyzed by the idea of getting it wrong. But the only way to get it right is to get started. You can't improve what doesn't exist. You can't perfect something that hasn't begun. The sooner you move, the faster you learn. And the faster you learn, the faster you grow. Perfection is a trap. Boldness is your freedom. Your life doesn't change when you get rid of fear. It changes when you stop obeying it. It changes when you rise above it. It changes when you stop making decisions based on comfort and start making them based on purpose. This is your turning point. Right here, right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but today. Make the call. Say what needs to be said. Take the leap. Burn the excuses. Tear up the list of reasons why you shouldn't. You don't need another plan. You don't need another motivational quote. You need courage. The kind that says, even if I'm scared, I'm doing it anyway. The kind that silences fear through bold execution. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. You have the power to act. You have the power to disrupt your own pattern. You have the power to choose boldness over hesitation. The moment you do, you become unstoppable, not because the fear is gone, but because it no longer runs your life. So here's the truth. Stripped of all fluff, your life is waiting on the other side of fear. The version of you that you've imagined. The one who moves boldly, speaks clearly, lives fully. That version is already inside you. But you've got to stop waiting. You've got to decide. And then act. With conviction. With urgency. With everything you've got. Because when you do, when you finally stop shrinking, stop hesitating, stop obeying fear, you won't just feel better. You'll feel alive. Unshaken. Clear. Capable. Bold. So what are you going to do now? Keep living inside the cage of fear, or break it wide open and take back your power. This is your moment. Step into it. Boldly. Decisively. Completely. Because nothing changes until you do. And the life you've always wanted isn't going to wait forever. Move. Now. And don't look back. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with positive influences and supportive people. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Let that sink in for a moment. If the people around you aren't inspiring you, challenging you, or pushing you to become better, then you're leaving your potential untapped. If you surround yourself with negativity, pessimism, or people who drag you down, that energy will seep into your own life. It's time to take a hard look at the company you keep and realize that the people you allow into your life are shaping your future more than you know. Your circle matters, and it matters more than you might think. The thoughts, actions, and beliefs of the people you spend the most time with directly influence your mindset, your decisions, and your success. If you want to elevate your life, It's time to start surrounding yourself with people who reflect the person you want to become. Think about the last conversation you had with someone close to you. Was it uplifting, filled with positivity and ideas for growth? Or did it leave you drained, discouraged, or feeling small? Now imagine living in an environment that constantly fills you with that energy, the kind that makes you feel like you can take on the world. That's what being around the right people does for you. It transforms your mindset, your ambition, and your ability to overcome obstacles. It makes you believe that the impossible is possible. But here's the harsh reality. Not everyone is going to support your dreams. Not everyone is going to cheer you on when you go after your goals. And that's okay. In fact, it's better that way. Because when you surround yourself with supportive, positive influences, you start to see the world differently. You stop settling for mediocrity and start striving for greatness. You understand that success doesn't come from doing what's comfortable. It comes from pushing beyond what's familiar and surrounding yourself with people who do the same. There's a reason why top performers in every industry emphasize the importance of their environment. It's not just about talent or hard work, it's about the energy you allow into your life. You've heard the saying, you are who you hang out with. Well, it's more true than you might think. If you spend time with people who constantly complain, criticize, or play small, guess what? That becomes your reality. But when you spend time with people who are optimistic, driven, and focused on growth, that energy will fuel your own aspirations. This doesn't mean you need to cut everyone out of your life who isn't serving your growth. But it does mean you need to be intentional about the time and energy you give to those who aren't elevating you. You need to be discerning about the conversations you have and the environment you put yourself in. Because the right people will not only support you, they will challenge you to grow, to become better, and to keep moving forward even when things get tough. Think about the kind of person you want to become. Are you surrounding yourself with individuals who reflect that vision? If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, are you spending time with others who are driven and ambitious, who are taking steps toward their own dreams? If you want to be a better parent, are you around people who encourage you to be the best version of yourself? The people you interact with, even on a daily basis, shape your beliefs, your habits, and your behavior. Now let's take a moment to consider the power of positive influence. There's an undeniable magic that happens when you align yourself with people who believe in your potential, even when you don't. These are the people who push you to go beyond your limits. They're the ones who remind you that failure is not the end, it's just a lesson. They help you see opportunities where others only see obstacles, and most importantly, they hold you accountable to the best version of yourself. But how do you find these people? How do you cultivate relationships that support your growth and elevate your energy? The first step is to look within. Are you the kind of person who is ready to be challenged? Are you open to growth and transformation? Because the people who will inspire you and help you grow are the ones who also value self-improvement. They are people who live by principles of discipline, resilience, and positivity. So if you want to surround yourself with these kinds of individuals, you must first embody these qualities yourself. It's also important to remember that positive influences don't always have to come from close friends or family members. Sometimes the people who inspire you most are mentors, coaches, or even strangers you meet along the way. It's about finding people who elevate your thinking and push you to think bigger. People who show you that there's always another level of excellence to reach, no matter where you're at. But here's the catch. Surrounding yourself with the right people doesn't mean simply having a cheerleader by your side. It means being in an environment that challenges your current mindset, pushes you to expand your boundaries, and helps you see beyond your current limitations. True growth happens when you're forced to stretch yourself, to break through your comfort zone, and to take on challenges that feel just out of reach. And the right people will be there to support you through it, offering feedback, encouragement, and sometimes a nudge when you need it most. Now let's talk about the flip side. What happens when you're constantly surrounded by negative influences? When you're stuck in a cycle of drama, complaining, or toxic relationships? It's draining, it's demoralizing, and it can be paralyzing. Negative energy is contagious, and if you allow it into your life, it will drain your motivation, your confidence, and your vision for the future. You'll start to doubt your abilities. You'll begin to settle for less. You'll lose sight of your goals and get caught up in petty distractions. But here's the good news: you have the power to change that. You don't need to stay in relationships that hold you back. You don't have to continue tolerating negativity, judgment, or criticism. You can choose to let go of toxic people and replace them with those who inspire and challenge you. Yes, it will be uncomfortable at first. Yes, it may require difficult conversations or boundaries you've never set before. But in the long run, it will be the best decision you can make for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. When you make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive influences, you begin to see the world through a different lens. You start to realize that your potential isn't limited by your current circumstances, but by the beliefs and attitudes you hold. And when you surround yourself with people who share a vision of growth, positivity, and success, you begin to believe in yourself in ways you never thought possible. Take a moment and think about the people you interact with on a regular basis. Are they helping you become the person you want to be? Are they lifting you up, challenging you to be better, and inspiring you to take action? Or are they holding you back, draining your energy, and keeping you stuck in old patterns of thinking and behavior? Now is the time to make a change. Start being more intentional with your relationships. Seek out people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you accountable to your highest potential. These are the people who will help you become the best version of yourself, and when you align yourself with them, you'll find that you're capable of achieving far more than you ever imagined. Surround yourself with those who lift you higher. Break free from the chains of negativity, self-doubt, and small thinking. The people you choose to surround yourself with can either elevate you or limit you. It's time to choose wisely. And when you do, you'll be amazed at how quickly your life begins to change. Your energy will shift. Your confidence will rise. Your dreams will no longer seem out of reach. They'll become inevitable. Because the right people will make you believe in yourself again. And together, you'll achieve more than you ever could on your own. So ask yourself, who are the people you need to keep close? Who are the ones you need to distance yourself from? Your future is waiting. Make the choice that will shape it for the better. Choose positive, supportive, and empowering relationships, and watch your life transform. Chapter 8. Stay committed to your goals no matter the obstacles. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They walk away from their goals not because they weren't capable, but because they weren't committed enough when the path got hard. Let me say this clearly. It's not talent, luck, or timing that determines success. It's your decision to keep going, especially when everything around you tells you to stop. The difference between people who win and those who don't is never found in the comfort zone. It's forged in the fire, in the storms, in the setbacks most people run from. When you said you wanted to succeed, did you mean only when it was convenient? Did you mean only when things went as planned? Because every goal you've set, every vision you've dreamed about is going to test you. It's going to push you to your limits. Life doesn't hand you success. It asks you, how bad do you want it? And your answer isn't in your words, it's in your commitment when it's no longer easy, when no one claps for you, when the results are invisible, when you feel like nothing is working. Let's get real. Everyone is motivated on day one. Everyone feels good when they set a goal. But motivation fades, emotions change, and if your pursuit of your dreams depends on how you feel that day, you're not going to make it. Your goals don't care about your feelings. They only respond to consistency, to grit, to that unshakable decision that says, I'm not stopping no matter what gets in my way. Every obstacle you're facing right now is not there to destroy you. It's there to reveal how committed you truly are. Because if your dream was easy, everyone would have it. It's the struggle that makes it worth it. It's the discipline in the dark when nobody's watching. That's where winners are made. They aren't built on the stage. They're built when no one sees you grinding. When you show up without applause, when you stay focused even when everything inside you wants to quit. Think about it. How many times have you started something full of energy, only to let it fade the moment it became uncomfortable? How many goals have you set and abandoned because they demanded more of you than you were willing to give? Let that sting for a second, not to shame you, but to wake you up, to remind you that every time you quit, you're building a habit, and every time you push through, you're building a mindset. One will leave you empty, the other will take you places you've never imagined. Commitment isn't about how you feel, it's about who you are. It's a decision that must be renewed every single day, not once. Not when it's convenient. Every day, because life is going to test you over and over again. It's going to throw distractions in your path. It's going to throw people who doubt you, circumstances that challenge you, moments that shake you. And if you're not deeply rooted in your purpose, you'll fold every time. Let me tell you something powerful. When you stay committed, even when it's tough, you build trust with yourself. You start to believe in your own word, and that belief becomes your superpower. Most people don't have that. They say things they don't mean. They make promises they don't keep, and they wonder why their confidence is low. Confidence isn't built by shouting affirmations in the mirror. It's built by keeping the promises you made to yourself long after the mood you made them in has disappeared. You don't need more motivation. You need to remember why you started. You need to lock into that purpose so deeply that quitting is no longer an option. You need to be so committed to your vision that every excuse sounds weak, every obstacle becomes fuel, and every setback just makes you hungrier. Remember, this pressure is the privilege of those who are aiming higher. If you're under pressure, it means you're on the right track. It means life sees your potential and is giving you an opportunity to grow. Don't run from that. Lean into it. Pressure produces power. Struggle produces strength. And setbacks produce comebacks. If you can just stay the course, if you can keep moving when the road gets rough, what's waiting on the other side will be worth every sacrifice. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not too weak. You're just being tested. And the question is, how committed are you? Because real growth starts when your excuses end. Real strength shows up when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when nothing is going as planned, and you still show up. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Your goals are not going to wait for you to feel ready. The world doesn't pause until you feel confident. If you want it, you have to go after it relentlessly. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to take longer than you expected. Yes, there will be days when you want to throw it all away. But if you can hold your vision through the resistance, if you can keep believing when nothing's going your way, then you are already winning. Because most people quit. Most people settle. Most people never even start. Let them doubt you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them call you crazy. Just don't let them stop you. You were not born to live an average life. You were not created to follow the crowd. You have a fire inside of you that's been waiting for this moment. A fire that refuses to be put out by failure, rejection, or fear. Feed that fire with discipline. Feed it with patience. Feed it with action. Every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are, faced with fear, overwhelmed by uncertainty, tempted to give up, but they didn't. They kept going. They stayed committed when it would have been easier to walk away, and that's what made all the difference. You're not as far off as you think. You're just a few decisions away from changing everything. So today, make the decision, not the emotional decision, the powerful one. The one that says, no matter what happens, I'm all in. You don't need a guarantee. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to commit to the process, to show up when it's hard, to push forward when it's slow, to hold the vision even when you can't see the results yet. Because success isn't just about what you accomplish. It's about who you become in the process. You want to feel proud of yourself? Then earn it. Earn it by staying in the fight. Earn it by refusing to give up. Earn it by becoming the kind of person who doesn't just talk about dreams but who lives them. Let the world see what relentless looks like. Let your commitment be louder than your excuses. Let your actions speak so clearly that no one ever questions your dedication again. This isn't the time to slow down. This isn't the time to look back. This is the time to lock in, to go all in, and to burn the bridges behind you. Your future depends on it. Your dreams are counting on you. Not on your feelings, not on your circumstances, on your commitment. The kind of commitment that doesn't flinch, that doesn't fade, that doesn't fold under pressure. So don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for easy. Don't wait for the stars to align. Decide right now that you're going to finish what you started, no matter what. That's how winners think. That's how success is created. That's how lives are changed. Stay committed, not for the applause, not for the likes, but for the freedom, for the self-respect, for the legacy you're building. This is your time. This is your path. Stay in the fight. Stay on the course. Finish strong. And when you do, you'll look back, not with regret but with pride. Not wondering what could have been, but knowing exactly what you made happen, because you never gave up. Now go. Show the world what unstoppable looks like. Chapter 9. Keep learning and adapting to stay ahead of change. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. There's no standing still in life. You either evolve or you get left behind. And if you're not actively learning, adapting, and pushing yourself to stay ahead of change, then you're not just standing still, you're falling behind. Let that sink in for a second. The world isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's moving forward, with or without you. And the question is, will you be part of the future, or will you be stuck in the past? Change is relentless. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't care about your comfort zone. It just comes, often when you least expect it, demanding that you either keep up or get left behind. The truth is, the world around you will continue to shift, evolve, and grow, and the only way you'll thrive is by being one step ahead of it. This isn't just about surviving the change. This is about using that change to fuel your personal growth, your career, and your success. But here's the catch. You can't do that if you're not constantly learning. Learning isn't a one-time event. It's not something you did when you were in school, or something you'll do once you hit a certain age or level of success. Learning is a lifetime commitment. If you're not getting better every single day, you're falling behind. You have to choose to evolve, and you have to choose to adapt. The problem is that most people don't realize how much change is happening around them. They get so comfortable with the status quo that they don't see the subtle shifts happening until it's too late. They stick to what they know, cling to outdated methods, and before they know it, they're obsolete. They become prisoners of their own ignorance and complacency. But not you. You're different. You're the one who's going to learn what's next. You're the one who's going to stay ahead of the curve, even when the curve looks like it's moving too fast. Because, make no mistake, the world will keep evolving. The industry you're in, it's changing. The technology, it's advancing. The competition, it's getting sharper. If you don't continue learning, you're going to miss the wave of opportunity, and that wave doesn't wait for anyone. You're only as valuable as the knowledge you have today, and that knowledge isn't static. It's fluid, it's dynamic. The moment you stop expanding it, you start losing ground. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is simple. The successful are always seeking more. They never stop learning. They don't get comfortable. They read the books, take the courses, ask the questions, and put themselves in situations where growth is inevitable. And it's not about accumulating knowledge for the sake of it. It's about applying that knowledge to create a better life, a better business, a better you. Think about the most successful people in the world, whether it's in business, sports, or any field. What sets them apart? It's not their talent alone. It's their commitment to learning and growing every single day. They're constantly looking for ways to improve. They're hungry for new ideas, new strategies, new perspectives. They never stop asking how they can do better. And that's what keeps them ahead of the game. That's what keeps them at the top. They don't just wait for change to happen to them. They create change by adapting faster and smarter than anyone else. So ask yourself, how often do you challenge your thinking? How often do you step outside your comfort zone and learn something that pushes you to grow? Are you actively investing in your knowledge, your skills, and your mindset? Or have you allowed yourself to get comfortable? Because the comfort zone is the enemy of growth. If you want to rise, you need to constantly push yourself beyond what you know. You need to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. If you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're probably not growing as fast as you should be. The best part is, learning doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to feel like a chore. The key is to find what excites you, what drives you, and then keep digging deeper into it. Read the books that challenge your assumptions. Take courses that push your limits. Surround yourself with people who make you question your ideas and learn from the mistakes of others. And don't be afraid to fail along the way. Failure is just another lesson, another opportunity to adapt and grow. It's only a loss if you don't learn from it. Think about this. What if the thing you're stuck on right now, whether it's a problem in your personal life, a challenge in your career, or something that feels like a roadblock, is something you could solve if you just learned a little more? What if the solution you need is already out there waiting for you, but you haven't taken the time to look for it yet? It's all about learning how to see things from a new perspective, gathering more tools, and adapting your approach to fit the current situation. Change doesn't always feel comfortable. In fact, it often feels downright unsettling. But that's the point. Change pushes you to become someone better, someone more capable, someone stronger. And the only way to thrive in the face of change is to keep learning, to keep adapting, and to keep evolving. Here's what you need to understand. The world is moving forward. If you're not moving forward with it, you're falling behind. This isn't about competing with other people. This is about competing with the version of yourself from yesterday. The moment you stop learning, you stop improving, and when you stop improving, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stop living at your fullest potential. You owe it to yourself to learn, to adapt, and to stay ahead of change. Not just for your success, but for your peace of mind, your sense of purpose, and the impact you can have on the world. So how do you stay ahead? You commit to becoming a lifelong learner. You wake up every day with the understanding that there's always something more to learn. You seek out opportunities for growth, whether it's through books, mentors, courses, or real-life experiences. You ask questions, you get curious, and you challenge your assumptions. And when you face setbacks, you don't see them as obstacles, you see them as lessons, stepping stones on your journey of growth. Don't wait for life to force you to learn the hard way. Take control of your learning. Stay ahead of the curve by constantly adapting. Because when you stop learning, you stop living. And when you stop living, you stop achieving. And that's not where you're meant to be. You're meant for greatness. You're meant to keep growing. You're meant to keep adapting. Because in the end, that's the only way to stay ahead. So what are you waiting for? It's time to start learning. It's time to start adapting. And it's time to start winning. Chapter 10. Visualize your success and take consistent steps towards it. You're standing at the edge of your future right now, and every single thing you've ever dreamed of is just waiting for you to take one bold step forward. Visualize it. Picture yourself exactly where you want to be, living your purpose, surrounded by success, and feeling the satisfaction of knowing you've achieved everything you've ever set out to do. Now realize this, that future is not far away. It's right within your grasp, and the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is one thing: consistent action. Dreams without action are nothing more than fantasies. You can dream all day long about success, about happiness, about reaching your goals, but if you don't take the necessary steps to make them happen, your dreams will stay exactly where they are, just dreams. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't is the willingness to take consistent, deliberate steps towards their vision every single day. It's not about giant leaps or massive, overnight transformations. It's about small, focused steps that add up over time to create something extraordinary. So, how do you turn your dreams into reality? It starts with visualization. Visualizing your success is the first crucial step in manifesting your future. Close your eyes and imagine where you want to be, what your life looks like, how you feel when you've achieved your goals, what it's like to be living in your success. This isn't just wishful thinking. This is setting the stage for everything that's about to come. Visualization works because it engages your mind in the process of achieving your goals before they even happen. It's like laying the foundation for the reality you want. By vividly imagining the life you want, you start to create neural pathways in your brain that make that life seem more real, more attainable, and more possible. You're telling your mind, your body, and your spirit, "This is what I want, and I'm already on my way to making it happen." But here's the key: visualization alone won't get you anywhere. It's the first step, not the last. It's the spark that ignites the fire, but you've got to be the one to keep feeding that fire with consistent action. Every single day, you have to show up for your dreams. You have to take real, concrete steps that move you closer to your vision. It doesn't matter how small those steps are, they all add up. And it's the consistency that matters. Many people make the mistake of thinking that success will come easily or quickly. They think that if they visualize something, it should just magically appear. But success requires patience. It requires the willingness to keep going, even when the results aren't immediate, even when the path isn't as clear as you'd like it to be. You can't expect to see massive change overnight. But if you commit to taking consistent steps every single day, eventually you will see the fruits of your labor. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. You start to question if it's worth it, if you're doing the right thing, or if you're even capable of achieving what you want. But here's the truth. The people who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit, even when things get tough. They are the ones who keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. And let me tell you this, those small steps, the ones that seem insignificant in the moment, are the steps that build the foundation of your success. What separates successful people from unsuccessful ones is their ability to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles, no matter the setbacks, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. They keep their eyes focused on the prize, knowing that every step, every effort brings them closer to their vision. And it's that persistence, that unwavering commitment to progress, that leads them to success. When you visualize your success, you're not just dreaming, you're preparing. You're conditioning your mind for success. You're priming yourself to act. And when you take those small, consistent steps toward your goals, you reinforce that visualization with real-world actions that make your dreams tangible. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that your success is inevitable. And each step you take builds momentum, pushing you forward toward greater success. The beauty of consistent action is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion. It doesn't matter if you're not doing everything right, or if things don't always go according to plan. What matters is that you keep moving. You keep learning. You keep adjusting. The process isn't always linear, and sometimes you'll have to course correct, but that's okay. The important thing is that you don't stop moving. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people even try. They've made mistakes. They've fallen down. They've faced setbacks. But what sets them apart is that they never let those failures define them. Instead, they use them as stepping stones to get closer to their goals. They learn from every mistake, tweak their approach, and try again. The process of achieving your goals is not a straight line. It's full of twists and turns, detours and obstacles. But that's what makes it so rewarding. Every challenge you face, every difficulty you overcome, is another layer of strength, resilience and wisdom that you gain along the way. And when you reach your goals, you'll look back and realize that the journey was just as valuable as the destination. So, what does consistent action look like in your life? It's the daily habits that you commit to, even when you don't feel like it. It's the small, seemingly insignificant tasks that, when compounded over time, create massive results. It's the moments when you choose to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing. It's the willingness to push through the discomfort, the fear, and the uncertainty in order to keep moving toward the life you visualized. Let me remind you again, the key to success is not about making one big leap. It's about taking consistent, deliberate steps every single day, no matter how small. It's about showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, even when the results aren't immediate. And it's about trusting the process. You have everything you need to succeed. The vision is in your mind, and the drive is in your heart. Now, all you have to do is take action. Stay committed to your goals, take consistent steps toward them, and trust that every step you take brings you closer to the life you've imagined. Because success isn't a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. And the choice is yours. It's always been yours. Your future is waiting for you, and it's up to you to make it happen. So, what's your next step? What will you do today to move closer to your dreams? The time to act is now. Your success starts with the first step, and once you take it, there's nothing that can stop you. Keep moving, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep believing that your success is inevitable. Because it is.